Christopher Columbus, born in Genoa in 1451, grew up during a time when European exploration was beginning to transform the world. His early life was marked by a fascination with navigation and a desire to find new routes to Asia. Columbus was convinced that a westward voyage across the Atlantic would be the key to reaching the rich lands of Asia, particularly the Indies, which were known for their spices and gold. His theory was based on a belief that the Earth was smaller than commonly accepted at the time, and that a westward route to Asia would be shorter than the eastern routes via the Mediterranean or around Africa. In 1484, Columbus sought support for his plan from the Portuguese court, but his proposal was rejected. Undeterred, he continued to seek backing for his voyage. His perseverance paid off in 1492 when he convinced King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain to sponsor his expedition. The Spanish monarchs were eager to find new trade routes and expand their influence, and Columbus's proposal seemed promising. They agreed to fund the voyage, providing Columbus with 3 ships, the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the Nina. Columbus set sail from the port of Palos de la Frontera on August 3, 1492. The crew consisted of a mix of seasoned sailors and inexperienced adventurers. The journey was fraught with difficulties. The vast expanse of the Atlantic was both daunting and monotonous. The men grew restless and disheartened as days turned into weeks with no land in sight. Columbus, facing growing dissent and fears among his crew, promised them that if they did not find land, within 3 days he would turn back. His leadership and diplomacy helped maintain morale during this critical period. On October 12, 1492, after 70 days at sea, the lookout on the Pinta spotted land. Columbus and his crew had reached an island in what is now the Bahamas. Columbus named the island San Salvador, believing it to be part of the East Indies. The indigenous people they encountered, whom Columbus referred to as Indians, were the Lucayan Taínos. The initial interactions were marked by curiosity and mutual intrigue, with Columbus taking possession of the land in the name of Spain. Columbus continued his voyage, exploring the Caribbean and making landfall on the islands of Cuba and Hispaniola. On Hispaniola, he established a small settlement called La Navidad using the wreckage of the Santa Maria, which had been damaged in a reef accident. He left a small group of men at La Navidad and returned to Spain with the Nina and the Pinta, arriving back in Spain in March 1493. Columbus's return was met with great excitement. He was hailed as a hero and presented with various honors and rewards. His reports of the new lands, their potential for wealth, and the people he encountered captured the imagination of the Spanish court. Columbus was quickly appointed to lead additional voyages to explore and colonize the newfound territories. In September 1493, Columbus embarked on his second voyage with a larger fleet of 17 ships and over 1,000 men. This expedition aimed to establish a more permanent Spanish presence in the New World. Columbus explored further, including parts of the Lesser Antilles, and returned to Hispaniola, where he found that the settlement of La Navidad had been destroyed by indigenous people, likely due to tensions with the Spanish settlers. He established a new settlement, La Isabela, on the northern coast of Hispaniola. Columbus's third voyage began in 1498, during which he reached the South American mainland for the first time, landing near present-day Venezuela. He realized that the lands he had been exploring were not the fringes of Asia, but rather a previously unknown continent. Despite this realization, Columbus maintained his belief that he had found a new route to Asia. His governance of the Spanish colonies in the New World was marked by increasing problems. Conflicts arose with indigenous peoples, and his harsh administration led to unrest among the settlers. In 1500, Columbus was arrested and sent back to Spain in chains, facing accusations of mismanagement and tyranny. Though he was eventually released, his influence was significantly diminished. Columbus embarked on one final voyage in 1502, exploring parts of Central America. Despite facing numerous challenges, including storms and shipwrecks, he continued to seek a route to Asia. His last years were marked by frustration, as he struggled to regain his former status and convince the Spanish crown of his achievements. Christopher Columbus died on May 20th, 1506, in Valladolid, Spain, still convinced that he had found a new route to Asia. His voyages had undeniable consequences, setting in motion the widespread European exploration and colonization of the Americas.